today, what are you hearing? Are things shifting to new neighborhoods? I mean, I don't want to get you as a reporter for like the
Yeah.
news, but if you want to talk about maybe some of that, like what the foreseeable future is holding and how maybe that's affecting like your creative community and
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
seeing.
It's every hour it's different. With the winds, the concern is the reason we've been on high alert and continue to be on high alert, I believe, through this evening is the Santa Ana winds. And if you're not familiar with them,
Yeah.
every year we have Santa Ana winds, but every year we don't have the drought, we don't have the dryness, we don't have a lot of the things
Well, you
that
don't have the extra vegetation apparently that grew during the lush season and then dried out. And so
because
now
that's exactly right.
it's
Because
just
we've had a lot of rain in the past couple of years, very unusual for LA. I've been
before
here 20
April.
years,
Yeah.
So of course, our planet is changing,
Mhm.
but exactly, it led to more of that. But then the winds, it could take an ember from, say, the Palisades fire and
They
jump it
said
across
5
the
miles.
405,
5
and then
miles.
suddenly there's an up to 5 miles.
So
Exactly right. And that's huge.
if you're hearing out there nonsense about why can't they, why
Yeah.
aren't they, all this judgment, it is nonsense when you experience firsthand the physical
Yeah.
weather
Yeah.
of the situation and how no
Yeah.
human being can
Yeah.
overcome that. So they just have to try to contain it. So
Yeah.
again,
And
with
so, it's
compassion,
amazing that they've, we have,
incredible.
many of the fires have been 100% contained. The ones that started that way, because our firefighters have been on the front line,
Right.
prepared they tend to focus their energy, of course, on protecting residential areas and
Trying to
allowing the
slow the
fire.
spread. Yeah.
Yes. So right now, last I heard, the Palisades fire was 19% contained, which sounds small, but is actually quite huge. And many of the fires, but like the Kenneth fire, 100% contained, Glendale fire, Studio City fire, 100% contained. We do still have the Hearst fire and the Eaton fire. So this spreads across, more than 50 miles, right?
Yeah.
And they are still burning. And so again, I think that the high alert, today is Wednesday. I think the high alert is meant for the winds, at least, is meant to end. Hopefully by tonight, there'll be a respite before more Santa Ana winds can whip the fires so fast. And it's amazing. Like day 3, maybe, we had someone here who was evacuated from their Encino home. And at the front porch, from our front porch, we could see the fire. And not only that, but you can see it spread. And watching it in real time spread so fast is not only frightening and alarming, but it did feel hopeless for a while. I don't know how any 37,000 human being firefighters are going to combat this, and they did. So
You just
it's
they're rising to this challenge that seems
yeah.
impossible, and therefore they're making a difference. And I
And
think that's what everyone is doing.
yes, it's what
Every
everyone
good
is
human
doing.
with a good soul is doing that.
Yeah.
If
And
you're seeing
it's
behavior that is not that is not trying to rise to a challenge, that is wasting time and energy on trying to lay blame it's not the time. It's not the time. It's time for problem solving.
yes, yeah.
Notice where things may have gone wrong, but like fix them. That's what these people are doing. They're not trying to be perfect, they're trying to be effective, and that's so important.
Yes.
You cannot aim for perfection and pleasing everybody, just like Elise said. With you're going to get comments when you're an influencer, when you're somebody I don't get so many because I have a very small following, and I've had a few, trust me. It's bizarre. I mean, the way people will try to tell you what you should be doing in any given moment to be perfect for them and their vantage point is, I mean, I don't want to get negative, and I am, I guess, but I'm trying to say, let's all
Everybody has
stop that.
feelings and they have their perspective, and it's true. The point is, from
Can't
some
be
things,
perfect.
you can't be perfect, but also it is true. Like, we are here in LA in it for the long game. Yes, we hear a lot about the Palisades, which is devastated. I mean,
Yeah.
I was actually on my way. So I study with a hormone expert, and that's where I get all my hormone testing done. I was on my way to her office.
Wow.
I was pulling up. I mean, I saw the fire. This is 20 minutes after it started. And
You
I was on
turned
the phone with
around?
mom, actually. I was on the phone with mom. I'm like, I'm going to have to get off the phone. And I called the office. I'm like, I can't come. And you guys need to consider,
Get
like,
out.
please turn on some alerts. Something's going on. Like, I see fire and smoke. That building no longer exists now, right? So we hear a lot about the Palisades fire, but there is a fire, that burned through a community called Altadena,
Yeah.
which is generational. These people, they've lost everything. They don't have anyone to post for them. They don't have anyone to stay with. They're in
Yeah.
evacuation centers.
LA itself
Yeah.
is a working class
Yeah.
community, despite all the wealthy
100%.
people who are
Yeah.
absolutely there.
Yeah.
Similar to New York. I mean, look at New York City. You have the the richest people in the world own property there, but they also are run by the working class people, by the everyday people. And Altadena, like I said, historically Black community, incredibly resilient and strong, and homeowners and community, pillars of the community, but not people who maybe have tons of money in reserves, and whose insurance has been taken away because of corruption and big corporate America, sadly. So they have lost insurance they'd always paid for fire, because fires are too prevalent. So these are people, just please remember that though the Palisades is a very wealthy community in general, there are many communities affected, and people in the Palisades who live and work there, and have apartments.
The amount of jobs, I just posted a resource for people who are now out of jobs, because the job resources that were there is
many people. And I mean, I'm an interior designer, right? So I actually work in a pretty moderate market. So I work for, I'd say, upper middle class, average folks who've saved a lot of money and have one home. A lot of my friends work for these really wealthy people and have designed these beautiful homes. And, there are entire industries that are kind of stopped there for the luxury industry, which, not for nothing, employs a lot of people as well, who are very average people. So again, compassion's the way to go. There's a lot of people being affected. It is not just the wealthy. And I think the wealthy have every right to also feel very depressed and sad about losing their home.
This is a human issue. This is not a political issue. It is not a wealth issue. It is an issue of being kind and compassionate for
and they'll have the added support of being able to rebuild more easily. Yes. If that's even what, like you said, the trauma here is that there's even questions about how to rebuild. Do you rebuild?
Well, like we just got an alert in our area that is not, I mean, no, at the moment with the direction of the winds and the prediction where we live is not an immediate danger.
However,
but the air quality and the water quality, we just were advised we need to boil water if we want to shower with it, because there's so many toxins in the water, right? So then again, you have to figure out, okay, what is alarmist, what is real, but it's very real. I was, as you know, downtown on 9/11 in New York City.
You've lived through that as well. And so
it feels very much the same. That first day when I was driving into the fire, I had a little like PTSD, because when we saw the smoke from the first building, I was down slightly south of Soho at an audition.
I remember.
Everyone's like, oh, it's fine. It's nothing. It's probably just an accident. I'm like, you know what? This doesn't seem fine. I'm going to go home. Like,
and I actually remember because I was there.
You were the only one to make it through.
I called you immediately because I was actually on the road in Ohio listening to this happen. And so I remember calling you and being so grateful. And I'm not trying to out you. You were devastated. You were in tears.
Yeah.
It was horrible what you were seeing firsthand. Yeah. And you were able to walk the 96 blocks home, or 108 or whatever it was, with your friend. And you saw, again, the best of humanity there, despite the worst things that have happened. And people can get through, and that there is a lot. There's a lot of challenge to come. I mean, a lot of those firefighters and policemen who were not supported, were dying of cancer and all these things. So you do have
that's what I was going to say, is that was, granted, they were very substantial buildings, but two buildings, urban fires and urban explosions like that, they release different kinds of chemicals that the air quality index can't measure. Air quality index measures natural pollutants, it can measure wildfire pollutants. But so these are conversations that we're like, the long-term devastation, we're still in crisis fight or flight mode, like let's get the fires out, we're still in that mode. But once we are, like,
but you can't
is the air healthy
pretend that it's not going to affect everyone around the entire perimeter who are experiencing these chemical things. And that's where my worry for you comes from. And I know a lot of friends who are fighting illnesses and all these things. This is a scary time. So again, I think we're here to give hope, though, to recognize, we are resilient. And and you are, more than anyone, you all who are listening, you probably all know this because you're probably all Elise's, big followers of Elise's already. But the work she does and the subscription service that she offers, these are legitimately supportive of your overall wellness, health, longevity. And it is important to find that support, especially when you're going through incredibly challenging times.
And that's what I was going to say when people ask about community too. Like, yes, we all have our in real life community, but thank you, because these communities, when I go into the subscriber communities, I just, anytime I want to feel better, I have a moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I will go into my subscription. Steph, who's on, is one of
Hi,
my
Steph.
subscribers. She's an amazing human, and Noel knows Steph as well. She got to hang out with mom and dad when they were here. But you know, it's, I go in there and I see the support and I'm lifted up. So if you are feeling a lack of community where you are in real life, or a lack of time to get out into the world, the subscriber community, my new course, these are it's a community of game changers. And I don't even like to say when people are like, oh, it's a like-minded community, because I think it's important we have diversity in communities. So, you know, these are
You're
people who are
like-minded in the
changing,
one area of wanting to build
like-minded
health,
and wanting
wellness.
wellness. Yes, like-minded and wanting personal wellness, community wellness, the wellness of the world, the wellness of our physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Yes, we're all like-minded in that. But, you know, everyone from like CEOs to best-selling offers to moms of five who are just discovering what they want to do with their life. These are, as Steph's so sweet, she says it's a high vibe. But it's there if you need it.
Right.
You
If
know, it's
it's for you, look
yeah,
into something like that. If it's not Elise's
yeah,
subscription,
anything, a community of
read,
support where you
read
can,
someone you believe in
yeah,
on Substack. Like,
yes,
um,
yes, yes,
there's a lot of beauty available to you. And if something doesn't feel quite right, feels inflammatory, please don't consume it.
yeah,
And be careful what you consume,
yeah.
and love one another. And I think that's the best we can do. I mean,
It is, yeah, and that's enough. And at the end of the day, hopefully, that's what
are
will
you,
be the saving grace.
I know we're going over a little bit. Is that okay? Just
Yeah,
a little. Okay. You are seeing in the creative community. I mean, obviously, right now is really desperation time, so the creating is different.
yeah,
But you are seeing still people creating opportunity for support. People
yes,
being really creative in who they're sending things to, how they're helping people get out of areas.
yes,
Is that something you're also seeing, and that you can,
yeah.
I don't know, verbalize? I guess you
Yeah,
already did, like what people are
yeah.
doing, but
Yeah, it's very interesting because there's overall support, which is sending essentials, showing up, making sure firefighters are stocked and things like that. But then there are, as you say, a lot of creators creating things like people are donating instruments, you know, to the community because they feel like making music can be therapeutic. People are offering, you know, sound bowl healings online or
people
in
are
real life.
organizing play dates for the
Yes,
children at parks so that they can
yes.
remember to be children and
That's right.
remember to find
Right.
joy.
That's right. And you see that, you see, you know, anyone who's creative, but, you know, even what you're doing as an interior designer, you know, it's important that we curate sanctuary. And if you
This
don't
is the
have a home
thing.
right now and you're in a hotel, someone like Noel can teach you how to make that place you're staying
Yeah, and
that's
even
not your
like
home feel
how to
safe. Right.
remember that you can rebuild, and like what you can
Yeah.
do slowly to just make things feel more like home. There's a lot of people in our interior design community, for what it's worth, offering that kind of stuff. Like, when you're ready, we are here to help you with
Yeah.
the services to like figure out what's important, figure out how you can create some space for yourself with whatever money you do receive or however you do
Yeah.
rebuild. Um, and just the importance of the creative community and making people feel alive and like inspired, even when they have to survive, because you
Yeah,
deserve
yeah,
that.
because yes, you deserve, exactly, you deserve that. And I have a friend who he and his family lost their home, and he's a writer, and he's an incredible human, but he still posts things that are inspiring, have a little sense of humor to show that
Yeah,
we're gonna get there,
yeah.
you
And
know?
I
Yeah,
mostly I'm concerned for your health. I know there's
thank
also like you got to kind of
you.
stay and protect your home and protect your neighbors' homes and like make sure. It's just such
Yeah,
a
Nolan's
challenge. So
so good. You know, we have elderly neighbors and he's always checking on them and making sure
yeah,
everyone has what he's like, you know, in our neighbor, like maybe online people know me, but in our neighborhood, I'm literally just Nolan's wife. They're like,
yeah.
oh, Nolan's wife, Boomer's mom, you know, because he walks the
He
dogs
walks every
and checks on
day.
everyone. So I focus on this community and he focuses on
Yeah.
that community, and they're both
Well, you're
important.
doing
Yeah.
incredible
Yeah.
work. It's important. Everything we're doing is important. And if
That's
you do
right.
have questions, thank you for talking to us from your perspective while
Yeah.
being there,
Yeah.
and how, through trauma, we are able to both experience the trauma, allow the trauma, even if you don't think you deserve to feel the trauma, you can feel it. You
Yes.
can, you can focus on how to heal it.
Yeah.
You can give
Right.
yourself time for everything, and you don't have to be perfect. You just have to try
Yeah.
to be better, I guess,
Yeah,
like
and you don't even
do better.
have to be okay right now. You can
Yeah.
be like, okay, today, you know, I got out of bed,
Try
I
to do
brushed
better
my
tomorrow.
teeth. I texted someone in LA. That's today. Great. Like, and know that tomorrow, yeah, sometimes you have to give yourself space. You have to give yourself time as a recovering overworker and feeling like the harder I worked, I've had to learn to incorporate moments of rest and recovery. I usually text Noel when
No,
I need to remember that, but
but ditto.
yeah,
We're texting
it's
each
okay to
other and
not
like,
be okay right now. It's not, it's
yeah,
okay. I'm not okay.
right.
I mean, I'm okay,
Well,
but
like you
like,
said, what you
you
said is
know,
so interesting, and I know I have to wrap it up, I guess. But what you said is so interesting is that you also go to seek community. You're not just some guru who knows
oh no,
everything.
no.
What you are is a leader, able to connect people, and
Yeah,
the real beauty of what you do as an influencer, as a wellness and travel expert, and all these things is that you connect people. You give people
yeah,
a connection to their dreams, their
yeah,
goals, their future, and that is we need that right now because we're
yeah,
going to have to go through a lot of bull crap
yeah.
through life.
I love your fake swears. It's so funny. Yeah.
Oh, I have real
Um,
swears. I have,
yeah,
as
yeah,
you know, my
yeah,
poor kids.
yeah.
My poor
But no,
kids.
it is. I think when we are excited about our own futures, it gives us a joy and an appreciation of the beauty of life, even as it is, and like grounding in gratitude. Like, every day, part of my challenge, I do I write out and then repeat 10 things I'm thankful for, and this is actually like, again, if you want inspiration, my friend Cristi Christensen, who's amazing and everyone
I
should follow her.
love her.
She's fighting a very aggressive form of cancer for 2 years now. She's one of the most amazing humans. She gave me this book. It's called The Magic, and it's just a gratitude challenge. And she said, I know the filter, it's like anytime you press a button, like it gives you lashes or something. Um, but she said this absolute, like being grounded in gratitude while going through aggressive chemo. Like, you want to talk about someone who really
Inspires resilience.
it inspires resilience. She said this absolutely changed her mindset, which absolutely changed her wellness, right? Like, even her physical wellness benefited from gratitude, right? I'm thankful that I'm alive today. I'm thankful that I have this breath. I'm thankful that, you know, this part of my body is healthy. Whatever you can find that you're thankful for. And honestly, if you're listening to this, you have so much. Yeah, right. You have an internet connection, you have some kind of device that connects you to the world. That's already amazing and something to be thankful for. But really, I find in times of challenge, finding the gratitude in your life, finding the hope and the excitement for your future can help
Yeah.
inspire that in others too.
Even if you
Yeah.
don't feel it every second,
No,
finding
if you
that
don't feel
gratitude.
it ever, then you're not going to feel anything every second. There's
Exactly.
ebbs
You know
and
what?
flows.
I'm just gonna say one more thing, if that's okay. So I should leave it with what you said because you're way more eloquent than me. But
Oh,
anyway,
I don't know about
maybe I'll edit this out. But it's like an idea of living for the Wednesdays, right? The highlight reels are
mm,
beautiful and they're wonderful to experience. And I'm not saying don't enjoy those. Expect some of the very bad things to happen. That's also part of life. But like what we really want to do is curate a place where we are living and feeling whole in those Wednesdays,
yeah.
just every day.
That's right. It's so great because as Steph just said, I'm glad Noel reminds me
Oh,
to take solace, right?
and other
But
people.
Steph is
Yeah.
what's cool, what's interesting about Steph, to piggyback on that, she's lost over 100 pounds. That's how I met her, through my Beach Bodi programs. But she started on a Tuesday. And so her whole thing is, don't wait for a Monday.
Yeah.
Don't live for Saturdays. Start on a Tuesday. And
Right.
again, just like you said, be happy for the Wednesdays. Like, if you can create a Wednesday that you enjoy, taking your
Yeah.
kids where they need to go and doing all of these things, that's a great
That's a
life,
great
and a lot
life.
to be
The other stuff
thankful
is
for.
extra or extra debilitating.
Right.
It's either extra inspiring, extra debilitating. The rest of it is the reality. This is where we live every day, and we can do so much good and be
Yeah.
so inspired in those days. And you really teach us that. So
Oh, well, thank you. So do you guys.
I only
Thank
cried
you for having me,
once a little
Noel.
bit.
Yeah,
And this,
I love seeing you and
me too.
getting to visit, and
We'll
thank
see
you
you
for inviting
soon.
me to your
Yeah.
community. Yes.
I'll see you soon, and
If you can tolerate two big dogs, we may come out for some clean air
I
soon.
know I said if you need to, you can bring the dogs, even though usually I love your dogs, but they don't come on vacation. But they're
No, they
welcome
don't. I mean,
in an
Boomer,
emergency.
he's
I like
gotten
to
so
visit
good.
them
He's
in
so
their
sweet.
house.
What's that?
I love to visit them in their house, my little
Oh
nephew
yeah, yeah.
dogs. My nephew
Yeah,
dogs.
I mean, they're big. Well, Larkin's very chill, but Boomer is has a big personality, let's just say. But honestly, it's been so great to have him. Again, one on my gratitude list today is, like, I'm thankful that when I wake up in the morning, Boomer makes me laugh because he, like, jumps on my face, then really
Can't
wants to get Larkin to
be
play.
that
Larkin's
serious.
still.
Yeah.
dead asleep. Yeah, it's just like you have to look at and appreciate the joys where they are. And again, a reminder: you're allowed to experience any range of emotion. You're also allowed to experience joy and gratitude in your life, and just know that what, and like you said, any feeling's going to pass. The feeling of joy is not going to be eternal. You have to keep coming back to it via gratitude, and the feeling of despair is not eternal. Keep coming back to it via service or connection, or however it helps you.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love
We
you.
usually do a show and tell, but you don't have to unless you have something,
Oh,
because today you are the show and
okay. Well,
tell.
I do have something. It's embarrassing. I didn't know we were doing a show and tell, but like, okay,
Always.
I don't want anyone to call this a Christmas tree anymore. This is now my New Year's
This is
tree.
a New Year's
Okay.
tree.
It's
This
still
is
up.
a support tree.
I took all the decorations off, but Nolan knows me so well. So he bit like after January, like for 4th, he like bit by bit starts putting Christmas decorations away. You know, we ever all the Christmas decorations are away, but he's like, you know, it's a balsam hill
Yeah.
tree. So it's not a fire hazard. Because
Yeah.
someone else was like, that's a fire hazard. I'm like, this is not a fire hazard. It's a
They
balsam hill tree with
pretty.
LED lights. But thank you for your concern.
People's
But
opinions are the best.
it is still up because I'm like, you know what? It brings me joy at night when I see the
Twinkly
lights.
lights.
It makes me happy. It's now my New Year's tree. I'll put it
Yeah.
away when I stop needing the
Yeah.
emotional support.
And honestly, it's legit through January anyway. I
It's
think.
legit for January. I feel like I'll put it down before Valentine's Day.
Maybe.
But, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But well, also whatever. I love it. So
I get it. You
maybe
live
I'll
for those
decorate it
things. You do
for
what brings you
Valentine's
joy. It
Day.
doesn't harm anybody else. So beautiful.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I love you. We'll talk soon. I'll be
I
texting you
love you
soon.
too.
But
And thank you
for,
everyone for tuning in.
yes,
Love you
everybody
guys.
else, thank you for tuning in. You're the best. Bye.
Bye.